inevitably the question comes up, what happens to me after this life? And the question that I think needs to be asked when somebody is questioning that is, who is the me? What are you describing when you're saying me? Are you describing me, which is standing here right now, talking into this microphone? The me which came out of the earth and is a bunch of varied matter that's strewn together from the earth and from the air and from the vastness of the universe itself, and it all is sort of reconstituted and reconfigured in this shape that I call myself, that I look in the mirror and I say, there I am. Is that the me that you're wondering about? Because that me is meant to return to the earth for certain and continue along as something completely different, consumed by the ground, by the worms, by the birds, what have you, and traveling on from there. So there's my answer if you're asking about that me. Now there's another me that we feel that we have. Maybe you want to think of it as ego, just because that's simple. Or you could think of it as your spark of consciousness, the me that says, me thinks, or I think, I feel, I worry. Now that conscious element that you feel is separate from your body, though it animates and gives life as we express it to the body, my question would be, are those two things coupled together? Do they arise mutually? Are they one and the same, and they are the opposite ends of each other? They are the North Pole and the South Pole. They are the positive and negative ends of the magnet. One is the light to the other one's darkness. You know the body and the physical me, the me that is just a point of time and place. You know that because you have this other animating element that we could call consciousness. And you experience the consciousness by informing and animating that physical body, that reconstituted rock and soil and water and stardust. And so one is informing the existence of the other. And so the question is, are these arising together and then, I guess, dissolving together? And if so, in this way, is it much like, well, let me save that for a moment. We'll get there in a moment, what I was just about to say. Or when you say, what happens to me after my life? Are you wondering about the me that, if you know my fundamental axiom for reality, are you talking about the me that is dreaming this life? That is playing the game of hide and go seek with itself? And it's doing it by creating an unimaginable number of beings and things, and they look different, and they feel different, and they speak different, and they make noises that make no sense sometimes, and all of the different creatures, or some that seem completely unintelligent, like the rocks. Now, if we're asking what happens to me, and I'm talking about that me, which is putting all of that into existence, and then using that to play, to have various experiences in many, many different ways, then to me, that is the me that will be your experience once again. When you awake from the dream that you're perceiving as the me that is the reconstituted matter, and the me that is this spark of conscious awareness that then is moving your body around and having all of these sensory experiences through light and sound waves and the haptics of your epidermis. And it's quite a complicated situation that has been crafted, that you've crafted for yourself. And when I say you've crafted for yourself, the you've in that sentence is the one you've, the one you, which is the you of everyone and everything. That is the baseline from which the illusion is put into action and the game is played on that board. And in that way, this is what I was going to say earlier when I stopped myself. In that way, you can consider the ocean and the transformation that takes place when water is evaporated up into the atmosphere, ultimately becomes a cloud, ultimately becomes a single drop of water, and then that drop of water, for simplicity's sake, let's say drops from the sky, and for that period of time, it appears to be this standalone thing that came from the ocean, went through various transformations along the way, was always this sort of ever-changing thing. And now it has this appearance of this single standalone drop of water. And let's suppose that it happens to fall through the atmosphere and it lands back into the ocean. What happens to that drop of water? Does it still exist? When it was dropping and it was saying, "Here I am, look at me, I'm having fun," the I and the me, that then seemingly disappears into the vastness of the ocean. Could you reach in and pull out a drop of water and have it be that exact same drop of water again? Or would it be some other amalgamation of portions of the ocean that are just constituting a new droplet of water? This is the question that you actually have to answer when you're asking what happens to me after my life. Who is the me that you're wanting to know about? And if you feel pretty concretely about the me's, then you probably have your answer.